if you've got the Zoe 101 sweats, if you carry anxiety or burden or whatever it is, I want you to understand these three things. One, accept that nothing is wrong with you. God did not make a mistake when He created you just because you were sad. Just because you're anxious, just because you can't seem to rest. Accept that nothing is wrong with you. Second, trust the promise of Jesus. In our anxious hearts, in our moments of weakness, we, just like Peter, lose sight of the things we know to be true. And in our darkness, in our weakness, we've got to trust the promise that we've seen come true over and over and over again in our lives. Trust the promise of Jesus. Accept that nothing's wrong with you. Trust the promise of Jesus. And then pursue the passions that God has given you. Understand that our heart is meant to pursue God, to worship Him. And so when we get in moments of anxiety and darkness and that plate feels so heavy that we can't move, the last thing we can do is sit in that. We've got to pursue the things of above. Worshiping Jesus, knowing Him, being in prayer time, being in accountability, having a group of people that you know love you and can pull you out of your pit. But also understand that the good gifts God has given us is meant to be used. So if you play a sport, do it well. If you like to read, we're not the same, but do that well. If you like to worship and sing and draw and do dance, do whatever you want to do it with all you've got to the glory of God. Because when we start telling ourselves lies, we start pulling back from what God's created us to do. And that's love God and love others. So if you're in this room today and you've got that plate on your chest and it looks different for you, I pray that you accept the fact that you're not made broken. That you trust who Jesus is in your life and you pursue Him with everything you've got. And if you're in this room today and you don't carry the struggle of anxiety or depression, you don't have to wonder where God is in those times, I pray that maybe today you would start being there a little more for your friends that do. That you would start checking on your friends that act different day in and day out. That maybe you would be willing to get a little comfortable being uncomfortable. To love and support those around you. Because this may not be your burden, but I know that you've got one. Because we all do. It was an honor to be back here to speak to you guys.